What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Wisconsin Living, and happy Tuesday morning to you. We're sitting here at 12:19 a.m. Tuesday morning. Hope you guys are having a great September. October will be here soon enough, huh? So anyway, I got a funny news story that just dropped in my feed. I thought I'd share with everybody. This has got to be a first for me. I've never actually heard this one, so let's jump right into the details, huh? So apparently, a man on the run from police during a high-speed chase has turned himself in because he couldn't stand the swarming mosquitoes he faced when he leaped into a field. The guy was allegedly, no, he hasn't been convicted in a court of law, so it's still alleged. The guy allegedly caught on closed circuit TV was helping himself to 3 bottles of Jägermeister from a grocery store in the Wisconsin town of Campbellsport. Jägermeister. 3 bottles, no less. Not sure how many of you guys are familiar with Jaeger, but here in Wisconsin, that's a pretty popular alcoholic beverage. It's kind of funny nonetheless. The story goes on to say that the store manager told police he recognized a man loading a cart with almost $2,000 worth of alcohol. $2,000 worth of alcohol. That's a lot for even Wisconsin. So anyway, the store manager recognizes him as the same person who allegedly had stolen from the store 3 times before. So he then chased the thief out of the store. How he got into the store, this guy's got freaking some big cojones, that's for sure. So this guy goes in the same store that he allegedly had stolen from 3 times before to load up his cart with $2,000 worth of Jaeger. So after being chased out of the store, the man jumped into his waiting getaway car, and the driver, identified as John Wilson, sped away, sparking a 3 to 4 mile high-speed chase. Evidently, the pursuit, came to an abrupt end when the driver parked his car and ran into a cornfield to hide. Now here, this is where the humor and the funniness of the story kind of come into play. So he jumps out of his car after being chased by the cops for 3 to 4 miles on a high-speed chase. He jumps out, takes off running into this cornfield where he probably thought, oh, these guys are never going to catch me in here. You know, if you're familiar with cornfields, they're huge. So he runs in this cornfield, and what does he encounter? Not the children in the corn. Not the children in the corn. We still got a month yet before Halloween, so hold that thought. He encounters hordes of vicious mosquitoes. Apparently, due to recent rain and flooding, as y'all know, down in southern Wisconsin, southern central Wisconsin, obviously lots of rains create a perfect breeding ground for mosquitoes, and that John Wilson found out, sure enough, just how prolific the mosquitoes were, because the story goes on to say that the bugs were too much for the driver, and he was forced to surrender about an hour later, rather than remain at large while contending with the swarming mosquitoes. Unreal. So this guy pretty much got away scot-free from the cops by running into a cornfield, and yet he doesn't. He ends up turning himself in and voluntarily turning himself in because he couldn't stand being bitten by the mosquitoes that apparently were biting him in swarms. Up to this point, the actual alcohol thief who was riding shotgun, he's managed to get away. Chief Thomas Dornbrook of the Campbellsport Police Department comments that when we handcuffed him, he asked us to wipe his forehead because he had 15 to 20 mosquitoes on his forehead at that time. Police are still looking for the alcohol bandit, but Wilson was charged with fleeing officers, retail theft, and obstructing an officer. So we can thank the Wisconsin state bird, the mosquito. Just kidding. Our actual state bird is the American robin. But in this case, we can thank those pesky mosquitoes for rooting out this fella out of the cornfield. Mosquitoes were just too much for him. So this happened just today. And like I said, just getting the story now, and I thought this was funny enough to share with people because, I mean, if you just picture the whole scenario in your mind, it's hard not to laugh thinking about it. Apparently, the area was flooded with mosquitoes. It was so bad that apparently the chief of police said that when his sheriff's office officials arrived, they immediately asked for bug spray. So even the cops were being harassed by those little critters. Mosquitoes are not fun, let me tell you. But in this case, it is extremely funny. So Dornbrook, the chief of police, goes on to state that that's the first thing they asked for, if he could give me some spray because it was crazy. Well, an hour later, that's when Wilson, the driver who took him on that high-speed chase, about an hour later, that's when he turned himself in. The chief went on to say that I think if it weren't for the mosquitoes, he would have kept walking and trying to get a ride from someone. I teased Sergeant Zitlow. He, along with a million mosquitoes, helped capture the guy. This is something like you'd see in a movie. You never even think it could like happen in real life. I'm trying to find any more interesting tidbits here to share with you guys. So they're still looking for his buddy who was trying to cop the 3 bottles of Jägermeister. They haven't found him yet. So I guess sometimes in life you're forced to make a choice, right? It's either get arrested or get eaten alive by mosquitoes. So this guy was, this John Wilson, originally, I guess he lives in Fond du Lac. He apparently chose handcuffs in the backseat of a squad car today because he couldn't take the mosquitoes in the cornfield. Apparently, when officers, after the high-speed chase, when they arrived at the cornfield, they had a police dog, they had police officers, they had a drone. They had multiple officers all looking for this guy. None of them could find him. So I mean, this guy he was gone for sure. He was definitely in the clear. He just had to wait it out for sure. wait it out, wait till the cops get tired of sitting there, and then just, make his way home, or like the police chief said, call for a ride and get out of there. I mean, they had this place covered and they still couldn't locate him. And of course, if you're familiar with cornfields, I mean, they're huge. So he tried that ploy, and 1 hour later, with all the mosquitoes on him, eventually he had to just come out, turn himself in, get cuffed and stuffed. So apparently John Wilson, the perp that we're talking about, was wearing a hoodie, but still had 10 to 15 mosquitoes feasting on his exposed forehead when police arrested him. Ugh. Imagine 10 to 15 mosquitoes just glued to your freaking forehead. Oh my God. And then you're cuffed behind your back and they're just sitting there sucking on your forehead. Oh my God. I mean, I don't necessarily feel bad for him, but I'm just, I can't imagine. Just the thought of just one mosquito. Oh, so annoying and itchy and painful. Not a good picture. So the Campbellsport store where this retail theft allegedly occurred was at the Piggly Wiggly in Campbellsport. So if I have any viewers from Campbellsport, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. This is a great story. I think it might be, this is gold. It's gold, Jerry. It's gold. I think this might go nationwide. We don't know. We'll see what happens. It's definitely funny for sure. So the man accused of stealing the alcohol had just gotten out of jail for doing the same thing. Store manager was familiar with the man's tactics. Load a cart full of alcohol and walk out the door. How do you do that? You load your cart full of alcohol and just walk out. I guess apparently it's worked because the guy had done it 3 times prior and gotten away with it. Okay, so let's go on. So the manager went ahead and called the chief of police, who drove to the store in time to see the man running to the car with a case of Sky vodka in one hand and a shopping basket filled with alcohol bottles in the other. The car took off, and the police chief chased it through the town of Campbellsport. This was over a 3-mile high-speed chase that this guy took the police on. So apparently they have identified the passenger in the vehicle, and they plan on arresting him. So if you're watching there, buddy, you might want to scoot it out of state because they know who you are. They're going to find you. So the police plan on recommending charges of retail theft, obstructing an officer, and bail jumping for the man who they say stole alcohol. So again, this guy just got out of jail for doing the same thing, and then he goes right back to the same store and does it again. This guy has obviously, all the alcohol that he's stolen from the store, he's definitely killed like pert near all his brain cells from drinking it. So as far as the mosquito-addled getaway driver, police are planning on recommending charges of felony eluding and obstructing and operating after license revocation. So this is a serious offense. You're running from the police. That's a felony. felony eluding and obstructing. So the police chief states that this is the first high-speed chase in Campbellsport in at least 6 years. So apparently squad cars reach speeds of in excess of 80 miles an hour at times to catch up to the men, who the police chief estimate were driving at about 50. Not really clear how that works. They're driving 80, bad guys are driving 50. Don't catch up to them. I don't know. Maybe it's me. I don't know. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So the manager of the Piggly Wiggly, I love that name. The manager of the Piggly Wiggly store, his name is Kevin Harvey. So apparently it was the fourth time. I misspoke earlier when I said it was the third, I think I said. So this was the fourth time that the liquor bandit had preyed upon his store. So when John Wilson, the driver, once he got to the cornfield, he tucked and rolled out of the vehicle while it was before it even came to a complete stop. So this guy does a tuck and roll out in the cornfield, and he's gone. That's hilarious. Well, I hope you guys liked this one. I thought it was really funny. I actually literally started LOLing when I saw this story. So if you like it, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Maybe share it with your friends on Facebook or whatever social media you have if you find it amusing yourself. We definitely appreciate the support. And kind of enjoy bringing you. This is a much more enjoyable story than my last Wisconsin story. You can see that last upload in my video history. That was, of course, the active shooter that we had here in Middleton, Wisconsin, that took 3 lives and left some other people injured. So it's nice to share some kind of lighthearted, funny stories too. To just kind of, I mean, although obviously it's probably not too funny to the store owner, but you get my meaning. It's funny, the whole thing, the way that this guy basically got away, or so he thought, and then he ends up having to turn himself in because the mosquitoes are so bad. So it's nice to share a kind of lighthearted, humorous story, especially in lieu of and following that previous story that certainly wasn't enjoyable to share. And you know, I definitely like sharing stories about Wisconsin that are much more uplifting, funny, humorous if I can. But at the same time, I'm going to share stories that I feel are worthy of being shared and are important to be shared. So anyway, hope you liked this one, guys. If you did, smash that thumbs up. Tell your friends. Subscribe if you haven't already. Comment down below if you have any what your favorite part of the story was. And yeah, till the next time, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in Wisconsin Living. You guys have a great day, and we'll see you next time.